Assalamualaikum. Our final year project is selection of platform for online learning classes during COVID-19 pandemic by higher institution students using Analytical Hierarchy Process AHP approach. And we are supervised by Madam Rasidah Buang.
My name is Muhammad Amir Rushaidi bin Razlizam.
My name is Nur Mafuzah binti Fazil.
My name is Nur Safia binti Nordin. Abstract. This study will aid students who are still adjusting to the new norm of online distance learning (ODL) in selecting the best online learning platforms and will help enhance their decision-making abilities. Introduction. There are multiple choices for e-learning platforms such as Google Classroom, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Webex, UFuture, and others. This study intends to determine which is the most preferred application by students and under what factors they make their choice. In this research, the Analytic Hierarchy Process (AHP) method is used because it is suitable for scoring and evaluating complicated decision-making situations. Problem statement. Problems and breakdowns might happen depends on the student's status. For example, students that live in the rural areas might not have access to technology due to lower socio-economic neighborhoods. Each student has their own tastes and preferences in which of the application that they like to use the most. Research objectives. The objectives of this study are to determine the factors affecting the online learning platforms and to find the most preferable medium for online classes using the AHP approach. Scope and limitation. This online survey was distributed to the students in UiTM Negeri Sembilan from every faculty. The researchers narrowed down this research for only UiTM Seremban 3, UiTM Rembau, and UiTM Kuala Pilah students. Thus, the result we obtained may not represent all of the higher institution students' preferences in selecting the online learning platform. Significance and benefits of the research. By using AHP, students won't have to make comparisons between online learning platforms. The top management of the university can encourage lecturers to refer to this study and choose the better option for their students.
Literature review. AHP is being widely used in every sector. Firstly, according to Simon Adamu, Abdul Qadir, and Henry 2019, they use AHP to prioritize alternative strategies for malaria control. The use of insecticide-treated nets was ranked as the best malaria control strategy. Next, Lai and 2013 investigate tourism promotion effectiveness, and from this study, they found out that the most significant factors influencing tourism promotional performance are government policy, service staff, and tourist satisfaction. Bayazid and Karpat 2005, on the other hand, where they tried to solve vendor selection problem to determine the ideal lime supplier for AKG Construction Incorporated, and they found out that the Crusader is the best supplier amongst the other three. Lastly, Wong in 2008 conducted research for a selection of intelligent building systems, where they conclude that the job quality is the most important of all the key selection criteria.
For the methodology and implementation, there are 3 phases involved. In the first phase, we construct the questionnaire. The questionnaire will be made up of combinations of multiple choice, rating scales, and Likert scale. The second phase, which is methods of data collection, the study will be conducted through an online survey. The time frame for the survey to be distributed and answered will be around for 2 months. And the sample of this survey are students in all campuses of UiTM Negeri Sembilan branch. Next, for the third phase, and the most important part is methods of analysis. So how we analyze our data? First, we develop hierarchical framework, then we do algorithm of AHP. If all the judgments are consistent, then we compare all levels. If all levels are compared, then we calculate the weightage of alternative, and then we develop overall priority ranking. We go through one by one in the methods of analysis. First, develop hierarchical framework. There are 5 criteria and 7 alternatives used in this study. Second, do AHP algorithm. Okay, for the AHP algorithm, there are 4 steps involved. Step 1, we construct the pairwise comparison matrix. Step 2, we do the normalization. Step 3, we determine the weightage. And step 4, we check for the consistency of the matrix. If the consistency ratio less than 0.1, then the matrix is acceptable. Otherwise, the evaluation has to be changed or repeated. So, this is the process of steps 1 until 4 in the AHP algorithm for the criteria. First, we compare for each criteria, and then we do the normalization for each column, and then we get the weightage by calculate the average of each row of the normalized matrix. After that, we check for the consistency ratio CR. CR equals to 0.004, which is less than 0.1. Hence, the matrix is acceptable. Since the inconsistency matrix is acceptable, then we compare all levels. We repeat the same process of step 1 until 4 to get the weightage of alternative of each criteria. We apply the same step until we get for the CR for each of the alternative. If CR less than 0.1, then all levels are compared and it is acceptable. After we compute all the weightage of alternative of each criteria, then we multiply with the weightage of criteria. Therefore, finally, we get the weightage of alternative. As for the conclusion, based on the weightage obtained, we can conclude that assessment, ease of use, and offline reading are the most preferred criteria, and Microsoft Teams is the best alternative for this respondent. Findings and discussions. Gender, age, faculty, campus, and devices used are the demographics that have been carried out in this research. We divided into two types of analysis, which is analyzed by criteria and alternative. This is the ranking for criteria by weightage. The highest weightage becomes the most important criteria. Assessment is the most important criteria when choosing the online learning platform with 0.254.
Analysis criteria by campuses. From the graph itself, we can see that the respondents from Seremban 3 and Kuala Pilah consider that the assessment is the most important criteria with 43 and 20 respondents respectively. Meanwhile, 10 respondents from Rembau select cloud-hosted platform as their priority. The least important criteria picked by Rembau is ease of use, interactive elements, and cloud-hosted platform, tied with 3 respondents each by Kuala Pilah, and Seremban 3 picked offline reading with only 26 respondents.
Analysis criteria by faculty. This study indicates that the respondents from all of the faculty except FPP consider assessment as the most important criteria in selecting the platform for online learning classes, while faculty FPP consider the cloud-hosted platform as the most important criteria. Analysis criteria by gender. This study found that assessment is the most important criteria preferred by both male and female respondents in selecting the platform for online learning classes.
Percentage of criteria chosen by respondents. From the pie chart itself, we can conclude that most respondents favor assessment, which represents assessment with 31%, followed by 23% from ease of use. Cloud-hosted platform have 17%, and it is clear that 15% of respondents tend to choose interactive elements. Offline reading, however, is the least preferred by respondents with only 14%.
This is the ranking of alternative by using its weightage. The highest weightage becomes the most preferred alternative. Google Classroom ranked first for the best online learning platform. Least preferred alternative is WebEx with the lowest weightage.
Analysis alternatives by campuses. Respondents from Seremban 3 favored Microsoft Teams and Google Classroom with 29 respondents each. Kuala Pilah chose Microsoft Teams as their priority, meanwhile Rembau liked Google Classroom the most. The least favored online learning platform picked by Seremban 3 is UiTM with 8 respondents only. Kuala Pilah didn't like Zoom, WebEx, and Telegram very much, with 1 respondent each only, as well as Rembau, but with the addition of Microsoft Teams and WhatsApp, and also the exception of Telegram with no respondents at all.
Analysis alternative by faculty. Overall, most of the students from faculty FSKM and FSR selected Microsoft Teams as the most preferred online learning platform, and the remaining faculty chose Google Classroom as the most preferred online learning platform. Analysis alternative by gender. This study concluded that Google Classroom is the most preferable online learning platform by both genders.
Percentage of alternatives chosen by respondents. Zoom, UiTM, and WebEx have the same minority with 6%, but on the other hand, Google Classroom is the most favored with 31%, then followed by 25% Microsoft Teams. Other than that, 14% of them choose WhatsApp, while 12% prefer Telegram. As a result, Google Classroom is the popular alternative for respondents. The least preferred alternatives are Zoom, WebEx, and UFuture. Conclusion. This study implements the process of evaluating the factors affecting students in selecting online learning platforms by using AHP. For the first objective, assessment is the most important factor affecting students in choosing online learning platform by using AHP. For the second objective, on the other hand, the most favorite online learning platform among students is Google Classroom compared to others. This study will assist students in developing decision-making skills by allowing them to choose the best online learning platform based on their requirements and preferences. Recommendations. Future study could be improved by implying the combination method of AHP with another multi-criteria decision-making technique, such as TOPSIS and ANP, so that it will be easier to effectively analyze cases with uncertainty. Future studies could also be enhanced from focusing on specific aspects of the criteria, as each student will demand distinct criteria specification.
Thank you.